I presume you're familiar with the ongoing shenanigans. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, or he was when he bought Twitter, made a great song and dance about how he wanted it to be more politically neutral. And yesterday he took to Twitter to tell everyone to vote Republican in the American midterms, which is a little odd, a little, I would say, possibly dissonant or disingenuous. And he has now banned people, lots of people with blue ticks, changed their name but not their handle. How much explaining do you think I have to do? How much technical explaining do you think? I mean, I don't want to work on the premise that you know exactly what I'm doing. So you know if you sign on to a chat room or something like that, you put in your email address, but you also have a name. So I might be james@lbc.co.uk, but then what you'll see on my post is Big Jim or something like that, yeah? Big Bad Jimbo. Or so you can't change your email address on Twitter, your Twitter address, your @. So I would be @Mr. James OB, but the name you see on my tweets might be Big Jim or Dirty Gertie from number 30. And you can change that quite easily. You can edit that in your profile whenever you feel like it. So a lot of people with blue ticks changed their online name, but not their Twitter handle. They changed their online name to Elon Musk. And it was quite funny. It was at first, quite distracting because you didn't realise it was someone and you'd think, oh my God, has he posted? And then you realise that lots of quite famous people, including an American comedian called, I think, Kathy Griffin, who has 2 million followers, they all changed their name to Elon Musk. So you could tell at a glance that it wasn't Elon Musk because you still had your Keith or @James or @Doris. You still had your address, but your online name was changed to Elon Musk. So he started closing down the accounts of people who changed their name to Elon Musk. And almost personally, I mean, I don't imagine he actually pressed the button, but he must have just picked up the phone. It's all gone a bit Bond villain, in my opinion. And that generally doesn't end well. He must have just picked up the phone and said, anyone pretending to be Elon Musk, even though it's fairly easy to work out that they're not actually Elon Musk because their name on their will not be Elon Musk. He is @Elon Musk. Will now have their accounts closed. This is the free speech guy. This is the free speech guy who said he wanted Twitter to be politically neutral, closing down comedians' accounts for taking the mickey out of him and telling everyone to vote Republican. And remember that in America at the moment, a vote for the Republicans is a vote for Donald Trump's lies about the last election, which is kind of unnerving because some people believe that freedom of speech is actually the same as freedom to lie, that unsubstantiated opinions should be afforded the same weight as evidence-based assertions or facts, as we sometimes call them. I think his logic for the vote Republican is there's a Democrat president. So by that, if whenever there's a Democrat president, you should you should have a Republican Senate, and whenever there's a Republican president, you should have a Democrat Senate, which even the most cursory understanding of American history will tell you means that nothing will ever get done. So it's either a boneheaded or a somewhat sinister analysis of American politics from a man who insisted that he wanted to be Twitter to be neutral politically, but bought it and told everyone to vote Republican. Phew. And also insisted he was doing it to increase freedom of speech, but is now shutting down accounts for teasing him. I don't know if you could say impersonating, really. It is really easy to work out whether an account is real or not. You know, I'm sure there's a half a dozen James O'Briens out. I mean, there's lots of people called James O'Brien who are called James O'Brien. I don't have James O'Brien as my Twitter name, as my Twitter handle. Someone else got there first. But if someone's pretending to be me, I would suggest that anyone with a functioning brain would need about 6 seconds to establish that it wasn't actually me. And so it seems to me to be an incredibly thin-skinned response from the freedom of speech broski himself, Mr. Elon Musk. Have I lost you now, if you're not bothered about Twitter? Have I already lost you? Have I already broken my solemn pledge to make this scintillating and compelling for people who aren't particularly Twitter-friendly? I just invented a word. People who aren't particularly Twitterate. Yeah? Like Twitter literate? Twitterate? Come on, that's good. I think it is. So, lots of people are leaving Twitter. Lots of people are very worried. My view, weirdly, is that I'm going to sit tight and wait and see what happens. But lots of people I respect and admire are already migrating. They're already leaving the platform. Two simple things that are raised in Hugo Rifkin's characteristically brilliant column in the Times today. Apparently the use of the N-word, and you don't need me to tell you what the N-word is, the use of the N-word increased exponentially immediately after his purchase went through. I think Hugo wrote that it had gone up by 500%. And one of the first phrases to trend under the new ownership was the Jews, which Hugo Rifkin, with beautiful understatement, says that generally for the uninitiated, that's never a good sign. So those are perhaps reasons why people are already packing up and moving on out. I've got so much on there, though, for me. I don't know whether this is just laziness on my part. I haven't yet been exposed to anything more disgusting than what I'm exposed to on a regular basis. But if the general mood changes, where do you go? You know, someone told me yesterday I've got 273 million views on TikTok. Did you know that? But you can't go, TikTok's no good. Some people are going to Mastodon. I'm a bit worried about TikTok because it's owned by the Chinese government. And also I can't post clever things, can I? It's all video on TikTok, I think. God knows you get enough of me on those viral clips. The last thing you want is me recording myself saying stuff that I used to write on Twitter. So some people are going to a platform called Mastodon. Don't ring me with the details. Don't ring me with the kind of pedantic stuff about Mastodon. I don't know enough about it. I'm interested solely in what we think is happening to Twitter. Is Twitter crumbling? It's all gone a bit Liz Truss, is my considered opinion on this. He wanted it so badly, well, except he didn't, but he had to buy it, and then he got it, and it just seems to be a bit of a mess. But what does that mean in the great scheme of things? Are you going to knock it on the head? What's going on? But don't forget, some people listening to this will not know much about any of this. However, it is a big deal. It's a huge, what do you call it? It's a huge democratic tool now. Politicians make announcements on there. Journalists conduct their business on there. All sorts of things happen on there that have in large part been for the public good. Is it under threat? Is Twitter doomed? There you go. We got there in the end. Thanks to Mark, he's the only one who's asked. Is James okay? That's twice now. He's gasped and the mic has cut out and then he reappears sounding absolutely fine. Tickly throat, Mark. Seriously, you try talking uninterrupted for 3 hours a day. That's why I've had to start taking calls. So my throat can't cope with the constant monologues. Sometimes I have a slurp of tea. So there's the question. Is what's going on with Twitter? I don't have a specific one. Is it doomed is a bit simplistic. What do you make of it all? I don't know what's going on. Listen, if you don't know, I'm on there all the time. Got 1 million followers, which I was really proud of until I discovered it doesn't mean anything. You don't even get a badge. I've got 1 million followers. I've got a blue tick, which I think I'm going to have to start paying for soon. Why would I pay? Yada, 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 yada. Just let's talk Twitter. 0345 6060 973. Hit the numbers now. You will get through.